Wouldn't it be crazy if I told you there is a star out there that should be dead, like it exploded, and now it is just hanging out in space doing stuff it is not supposed to be doing? Scientists actually call it the zombie star. That's the real name. They found it in 2020 and it's been acting weird ever since. It all started when astronomers were observing a galaxy that's around 3 times as far away as our own. In other words, it's pretty far. The galaxy is called IPTF-14HLs, and it was behaving perfectly normally until suddenly, bam, it exploded. It's not like a firework or anything, more like an atomic bomb. Astronomers saw light from the explosion reach Earth for the first time, and they could study the event as it happened. That's not something that happens every day. Exploding stars, by the way, are called supernovas. They're the violent deaths of giant stars that have run out of fuel. When that happens, their cores collapse, and then they explode. And they send out these huge pulses of energy into space. When astronomers saw IPTF 1404, 1406 for the first time, that's what they thought had happened. A massive star had exploded, and they watched as the light from that explosion faded over time. Done right, end of story. Normal star goes supernova, astronomers take notes and move on to the next thing. Except in the years that followed, scientists noticed that the star kept exploding over and over and over again. It was like a cosmic horror movie villain that refused to stay dead. So far, they still don't really understand why. Let me introduce you to some terminology. A single star can go supernova only once because when it dies, it's usually going to leave behind either a neutron star or a black hole. Either of those objects is incredibly dense, a lot like a star, but it doesn't produce its own light. So when astronomers see a star explode, and then they look at the object left behind and it doesn't have any light, they know that the star is dead. But in the case of IPTF-14HLs, after it exploded the first time, astronomers did see a bright point of light where the star had been, but it just kept getting brighter and brighter. It was as if the star had risen from the dead. Now, to be fair, the scientific term for this is recurrent nova, not zombie star. But honestly, who cares what it's officially called? It's a star that's cheating death, and that sounds like something that should be in a horror movie. We do know that this star isn't the only one like it. There are others out there, but we're still learning about exactly how they work. The simplest explanation for these recurring novas seems to be that there's more than one layer to the star's dense core. Think of it like an onion with multiple layers instead of just one. Each layer has a bunch of potential energy stored inside. And when the outer layer collapses, it releases a burst of energy, sort of like popping a balloon. And each time the inner layers get a little bit smaller, the pop gets a little bit bigger. Eventually, the whole thing collapses, and you get a really big explosion. The problem with this model is that scientists would expect the star to get brighter with each successive explosion. That doesn't seem to be the case with IPTF-14HLs. So whatever's going on here, it's different from other similar stars we've seen before. Of course, that's the kind of discovery that keeps astronomers awake at night. Because if one star can cheat death, how many other mysteries are still out there in the dark, waiting to be discovered? This is the kind of discovery that keeps astronomers awake at night, and maybe you too.